Hi there, I'm Susan Beyer, and this is Fun with Research. Thanks for joining me today. Today I want to talk specifically to my agency followers. I know you're out there, and I know a lot of you are thinking about how to establish yourself as experts and develop some thought leadership content for your agency. And I want to talk to you today about a 3-in-1 approach that really is a home run for doing this kind of work. And it's research. It is research, but it's not necessarily the research that we do at Audience Audit. It could be focus groups that you do with someone. It could be any kind of research that you want to do. But if you give it a little thought ahead of time and plan things, you can actually use thought leadership research for much more than you may be thinking. So the first thing you can use it for is your own client work. Obviously, if you're doing research into a niche that you serve, the buyers for a particular industry that you like to work with, then you can use a lot of the results of your survey for the benefit of your work with your clients, and you absolutely should. One of the things that we do at Audience Audit when we do research, our surveys are anonymous, but at the end we ask folks that they'd be willing to discuss this topic further. And we typically get 40 to 70% of respondents to volunteer for that. And that is a terrific asset for your agency. If you have a basically internal panel of willing respondents for a particular industry, particular niche that are willing to engage with you, then you can use that group for the benefit of your clients when they're exploring messaging, creative concepting, that kind of thing. So step number 1 is use it for client work. Step number 2 obviously is thought leadership. What can you do with it? And I think a lot of agencies really think this is just sort of about the content that you can provide, but there are a couple of other things I want to talk to you about. First of all, yes, content, but make sure it's content that can last you for a while. If you plan well in terms of your research project, you should be able to get at least 6 months worth of content out of a single project. By exploring a variety of issues, by having enough respondents that you can deep dive into certain groups, etc. Another thing that people often don't think about is using thought leadership research to secure a conference speaking engagement. We have a lot of experience with this at Audience Audit. We have clients who are doing it, and the nice thing about it is you don't necessarily have to have the research done to secure the slot. You can just say, look, this is what we're doing. Here's the plan. We don't know what we'll find yet, but we are exploring topics of great interest to your attendees. And more often than not, you're going to be able to secure a spot even before you start your research, which is terrific. And then the third thing is podcast interviews, which can be really, really great for word of mouth for your agency. But if you're an expert and you have fresh new research on a topic, you will be able to secure podcast speaking opportunities, interview opportunities, webinars, that kind of stuff that can be really beneficial in establishing your agency as a thought leader in the space. So really a few different approaches from a thought leadership standpoint, not just publishing content on your blog or in your social media feed. So that's number 2 after client work, thought leadership. The third thing I want to talk to you about, though, is the opportunity to engage partners in your research. If you plan ahead, you can include not just clients, but also prospects in the development of your research. If they have the people that you want to talk to, they can invite them to participate in the research, whether that's focus groups or surveys or interviews or whatever. And then you can not only sort of share with them what you're sharing with everyone else publicly, but you can also provide them some insight on how their folks responded compared to everybody else in the survey. We've done this really successfully with a number of our agency clients by holding webinars where they get to see how their respondents acted in a survey compared to the rest of the group, and it's really powerful, and it's a great way to both give them value for their participation and say thanks, but also to introduce them to your expertise with respect to that niche. So 3-in-1, super powerful. If you're thinking about doing thought leadership research, certainly take all these into account. If you want to talk about any of this, just let me know, but it can be a real powerful punch to your thought leadership efforts and give you a lot of other benefits along the way from the standpoint of client work and new business development. Hope that's helpful. We'll see you next Friday on Fun with Research. Bye.